Hey guys, it's Christy. Today I have a little bit of a different project for you, and one that is super fun and I hope you're going to love. I'm going to show you guys how to make these really cute paper teacups or mugs using some Lawn Fawn papers and the new Lawn Fawn Love You a Latte stamp set. So let's go ahead and get started. So to begin, we're going to go ahead and measure out the papers that we're going to need, and I'm using a sheet of paper from the Lawn Fawn Let's Polka collection. I've just chosen this corally pink paste. So you're going to want to cut your pattern paper down to 8 1/4 by 4 1/2. Okay, so our main piece here is 8 1/4 by 4 1/2. And then you're going to need an additional piece that is 1 inch by 4 1/2. Okay, we're going to set aside that piece for now. That's going to be our handle, and we're going to go ahead and start to score our teacup. Just going to grab my Martha Stewart scoreboard here, and I'm going to turn my paper so that it's facing the way that I want the bottom to be. So we're going to score what is going to become the bottom. So if you have a pattern, you know, you maybe don't want to score it this way because then your hearts would be upside down. So you want to keep that in mind as you're doing it. And I do want to recommend that you use a little bit of a heavier duty pattern paper or cardstock. You don't want to use something real flimsy or it won't be sturdy, okay? But we're going to go ahead and begin scoring, and we're going to score first, going the lengthwise at 1 1/2, okay? So we'll score here at 1 1/2 inches. Then we're going to turn our pattern paper and we're going to score at every inch. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, so that leaves us with just that 1/4 inch over there on the side. Now we're going to just go ahead and reinforce all those score lines. So you can just fold your paper up, and you can do that with a bone folder, or you can just do it with your fingers as I'm doing it here. Just making those lines nice and crisp. Okay, and we'll do this one as well. Alright, then you're going to take a pair of scissors and you just want to trim up that 1/4 inch right up to the score line. So we're going to cut right up there and cut that piece off. Okay, you can throw that away. Now we're going to cut up every inch, every score line to this main score line here. So we'll just go right up on each of these. Make sure you can see where they are. All right. Then you're going to grab some heavy duty tape, such as score tape, which is what I'm using here. And we're going to put it on the inside flap of this little 1/4 inch piece. So we'll just grab some of that. Make sure you bend that in, because that's going to connect the two pieces together. We'll just go ahead and line up some score tape on that piece. And then you're going to put it on the front and back of 4 of these tabs. So you just want to grab the tab, give yourself a little bit of a longer piece, and wrap it the whole way around. And you just need to do that on 4 of the tabs. So now we're going to take off the score tape, the backing paper, from this little tab, and we're going to bring this piece around and line that up right against the edge, and then you can go ahead and press that into place. Okay, now you want to flip your little teacup upside down, or your mug, whatever you want to call it, and you want to kind of bend those pieces back. Okay, and then beginning with a non-taped piece, we want to fold that in. Okay, and then we're going to take the tape off the opposite piece, and you want to meet these up in the center, but you don't want to pull because you want it to keep the shape. So try really hard to keep that shape, and when you've got those met up in the center, you can go ahead and push those down. So again, we're going to take one of the non-taped pieces, but before we push that down, we want to line it up with the opposite side piece. Okay, and then press that into place. Again, we're going to take a non-taped piece, but before we push that all the way down, I pushed that a little bit too far, but you don't want to push that down actually, and so because you want to make sure these line up, which that's not going to, so we'll just pull that back up, line that up, and push it down. Now the last time we're going to do it different because we want our bottom not to be sticky. So this time you're going to take the taped portion first, line that up with the bottom piece, and press that into place. Okay, then you can push your hand inside and give that a good push. You've got a nice clean center. You could punch something out and put it in there if you want to, but I don't really think it's necessary at all. So there is our paper teacup or mug. Now we're going to take another piece of score tape and decide which side you want your handle to be. Mine's double-sided. I'm going to flip mine over so that the striped piece becomes the outside, just for some difference. So you're going to put a piece of score tape at the top of the outside piece, and then flip it over and put it at the bottom of the inside. Okay, and we're going to pull off our score tape. If you've got any tape hanging over the side, just go ahead and put that on. And then I like to line it up right where the seam is. Let's see, my seam is right here. So we're going to put that just a little bit down, about 1/4 of an inch. Press that into place. Okay, so it's sticking up like that. Then we'll pull off the bottom piece of score tape and bend this backwards, and then line it up with the bottom of the teacup or mug. Okay, and there you have your paper teacup or mug. Very simple and easy. These would be so cute for like bridal shower favors, or baby shower favors, or a little girl's teacup party, or anything like that. Teacher gifts, anything like that. So I've gone ahead and made a little bag of candy that I'm going to tuck inside, and I've tied that with a little bit of coral ribbon. And now we're going to just make the little tag. So I have gone ahead and die cut the smaller tag from the Lawn Fawn Tag Your It die, as well as the small reinforcer out of that pattern paper, and I've attached that. And then I have also stamped out the For You sentiment, as well as the little teacup and the little smiley face with the eyelashes there. So we're going to go ahead and color these in quickly and add that to our little paper teacup. And I'm going to start with a CR4 marker from Spectrum Noir, and I'm just going to give a little wash of color to our little teacup here, trying to match up those pattern papers. All right, then we're going to jump to a CR7, kind of darken up some areas there, get some shading going. All right, and then we'll go back to our CR4 and just blend that in. There we go. And then we'll take, let's see, we'll do TN7. Right on the outer edges there. And then we'll go down to TN6. Just put in a little bit of a lighter shade in the center. And there we go. So now all we have to do is grab a little bit of twine here, and I have some May Arts button twine. And then I'm also going to thread on a piece of that same pattern paper, flip to the outside edge, the striped edge I should say, the piece that we used for our handle, and that is the inside of our mug. And I'm going to grab another piece of score tape there, and I'm just going to stick that on the back of, or on the front rather, of the back tag. And then I'm going to line up where I want the front one to be, and I'll kind of press that into place so you get a nice little variation there. And we can go ahead and tie that. There we go. And then we'll take our little paper mug here, and we'll go ahead and just wrap that around the ribbon that we've already tied our little candy bag close with. I'm going to bring that around to the front, give that another little knot, and then I'll tie that into a bow. Okay, just adjust the ends, give those loops a tug, and then I can go ahead and trim that down. And there we have it, a really super cute paper teacup or mug using Lawn Fawn papers and a Lawn Fawn gift tag, which makes a great favor for all different kinds of occasions. You could even fill this with little tea bags or some loose tea in a bag, or some, let's see, hot chocolate mix, homemade hot chocolate mix, or a few paper packets. You could do like chocolate covered pretzels. The possibilities are truly endless. So I hope you'll give this little teacup a try, and I hope you had fun today. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already for more tutorials, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. Bye bye.